Hello,
Yeah.
all of you there. My name is Nikhil Popat, representing Popat and Popat Company Secretaries. We are a firm in Secunderabad as company secretaries, engaged in the field of finance consulting, which is our main activity, apart from taking care of corporate law advisory services for companies in and around Hyderabad and Secunderabad. I have been in this field for last 24 years and have got I'm enjoying my field. Let me tell you, finance is something which is very, very important for any industry, any business, take it a small business house or a medium scale or a large corporate. Because finance, I feel out of my experience, is that any business house cannot survive without finance. It is like a lifeline of the business. Finance as a subject is very, very interesting, at the same time very, very challenging. And when I say challenging, naturally the satisfaction that you get out of completion of a deal or probably a proposal is immense. With every challenge you get new areas to explore, and when you successfully come out of that, you are that much more experienced. Finance is so vast, there are so many areas of specialization in finance. Let me take you through the various areas where you can excel, because it is a very, very vast subject. You have primarily people coming to you for securing bank finance for their projects, or you have working capital requirements for companies which are already doing business, and then you have people looking at different types of funding. We have various options in finance. One is the traditional bank finance, two is institutional finance, three is international finance. Now, while we talk of local finance, we have primarily three agencies. One is the scheduled banks. You have private sector as well as public sector banks catering to the finance requirements of companies and clients. You have the financial institutions like the State Finance Corporation and various such institutions who cater to the long-term capital requirement of businesses. Say when you come up with a new project, then you have to approach for long-term finance. Apart from now the banks, the institutions also are funding long-term capital projects. Then you have there are so many several different products. You have the fund-based and the non-fund-based limits. Non-fund-based limits such as bank guarantee or letters of credit. Again, in letters of credit, you have the international finance, FLC, and inland letters of credit. Normally, foreign letters of credit is taken for capital imports and as well as for raw material imports. And local LCs are normally used for sourcing raw materials for the working capital requirements of the firm. We then have the other areas of finance which is known as the foreign funding, which is in the form of external commercial borrowings, which is allowed by RBI. The rules have been simplified and it is not very difficult to obtain the ECB funding. Companies, in order to where they have imports or where they need to pay in foreign currency, resort to external commercial borrowing, which is normally in foreign currency. We also have another mode of funding which is known as the private equity. Now, you must have observed the activity in the stock markets. There are so many hedge funds, there are funds from US and Europe who are looking at India as an investment opportunity, because India affords the best returns for these funds which are overseas. Because what we are seeing happening all around us now, that Europe and US going through these difficult times where the returns are very low. So naturally they look at China and India as the next best countries which offer them very good returns from medium to long term range. Private equity normally comes for 3 to 5 years period, where these funds invest in a company which is not yet gone public to meet their intermediate needs of funding in the form of equity. They become your partners, and when they come as investors, they also do a very strict due diligence before they invest, and then the return of ROI which they look at is also very, very important. So based on the due diligence that they do, they take a decision to invest in the companies. And this is another emerging area as far as Indian companies are concerned. A third activity which I would like to inform here is the mergers and acquisitions. We are now looking at Indian companies acquiring companies abroad. It was earlier, good olden days, when we used to see MNCs coming and investing in India and picking up stake in Indian companies. We have the reverse thing happening now, where Indian companies, you must have heard about Tata and Jindal, all these companies are now acquiring large companies in Europe and in US. And this again has to be funded, because when these companies acquire the size as that of Tata or Reliance, it is not very difficult to raise funds in the international markets. So this is another emerging area. I mean, there are vast opportunities in area of finance, as much as you would like to take. In each one of these, there is again a specialization. So you have to decide for yourself if you're going to cater for SME, which is small funding up to 5 to 10 crores, and then you have the mid-corporate group, which is up to 100 crores, and then you have the large corporates, which is above 500 crores. So this is primarily for the funding in domestic area. I have also mentioned to you about foreign funding, and then there are another area which is NBFCs who fund for the home loans, the mortgage loans, the business lending, which is a third area which also has its own place in the market. Because where banks cannot help, these companies play a very active role and they are thriving, albeit the cost being a little higher. So there are so many areas which you can decide on once you enter the field of finance. And let me tell you, finance, money is where finance is. So go for finance and I'm sure you will succeed. All the best to all of you. In case you have any doubts, just feel free to call on me. I'll try to help you out. All the best. HBS Holy Mary Business School. You are in very good hands, let me tell you, because the research that is being done to bring you out as smart professionals the day you start your life outside the college, it cannot be described. You are in best hands. Make the best use of it, make the most of it. Go and ask questions, don't hold it back, ask for more, ask as much as you want. You will get answers to all of your queries. You will get people from industry coming and talking to you. I mean, you will be made a complete professional just as you are ready to enter the practice, enter the field of business. Choice is yours to decide to go for practice or for a job. Wherever you go as an informed professional well before. Your acceptance levels is very high. You will get recognition very quickly, and you will find yourself very, very satisfied in your place of job. So, say Holy Business School, the right place to learn business. All the best.